The story opens with two veteran hitmen cast out from their criminal organization after years of bloody service, simply because they've gotten too old. The insult burns inside them. They still believe the fire within hasn't died and that they can execute any mission without hesitation. At a deserted gas station, we discover the true depth of their rage. As they plan their escape and joining a new gang, one of them enters the restroom to find the station's employees lying on the floor, and his partner is the one who did it. But the surprise? One of them is still breathing. The man pleads for his life. He begs. He asks for a chance. But the seasoned killer looks at him without a trace of mercy. He coldly approaches, and in a flash, turns him into eternal silence. After finishing off the last employee, the killer walks into the restroom to wash his hands, calm and confident in his power, convinced no one on earth can touch him. But a mysterious voice comes from outside, a voice he never anticipated. He steps out slowly to find the organization's boss standing alone, smiling a blood-curdling smile. He says to him sarcastically, "You thought you could escape. You broke the rules, and you have to pay the price." The boss reveals 3 betrayals he committed: killing young men, a red line in the organization, carrying out a secret mission, and stealing money without permission, and then trying to flee the city. The criminal stands, shocked. He calls out to his friend for help, but the boss laughs coldly. "Your friend? I took care of him a while ago. He didn't even feel a thing." Fear consumes the criminal. He realizes his end is near. He throws a fire extinguisher in the boss's face and runs with all his might. He knows a direct confrontation means certain death, but the boss's voice rises behind him, steady and unmoving, smiling as if he can see his fate from a distance. "You chose the hard way, and your end will be painful." The criminal keeps running, thinking he's finally safe. Suddenly, a young man appears in front of him, standing in the middle of the desert as if he'd been waiting for hours. He smiles confidently and says, "What took you so long?" "I've been waiting." The criminal is stunned. This handsome young man isn't just a regular member. He's Han, nicknamed the Bug, the fastest and most dangerous fighter in the organization, famous for fighting with twin daggers and his ability to take down any opponent in seconds. The criminal tries to convince himself he can win. Maybe if he proves his strength, the boss will forgive him and take him back. He draws his weapons, ready to fight, while Han laughs with absolute confidence and tells the boss, "Wait for me in the car. I won't be long." The fight begins. Move for move, speed against speed. Both are professionals, but the gap is vast. Han barely moves from his spot, effortlessly dodging every blow. Han lands consecutive blows, crippling him, then ends the fight with a decisive strike that completely takes his opponent down. The boss watches from a distance, smiling with admiration. Han has once again proven he's the organization's most valuable weapon. After Han completes his mission, the boss immediately calls the organization's cleanup crew, those who arrive in silence and disappear without a trace, erasing all evidence as if nothing ever happened. Han approaches the boss, his eyes filled with unease. He tells him frankly that he wants to leave the organization because the pay is too low. The boss is surprised by the request and asks if he plans to join another syndicate or retire. But the truth is simpler than he expected. All Han wants is to live with his girlfriend Jay, far from the bloodshed and killing. The boss flatly refuses. "You're my strongest hitter. There's no way I'm letting you go that easily." He only grants him a vacation to think it over. Han gets in the car with him. On the road, the boss surprises him. "Don't be upset. I'll increase your salary, and I'll even induct your girlfriend into the organization so she can be by your side." Han's face lights up. He's finally getting what he wanted. He thanks him enthusiastically, then decides to take a short trip to rest before returning to his duties. 3 months pass. Han returns from his vacation and calls his girlfriend from the airport, but her voice sounds confused. The boss is dead, and the organization has completely fallen apart. Han is shocked. He doesn't know whether to grieve or be happy, but one thing comforts him. He is finally free. He immediately asks her, "Well, why didn't you come to pick me up like you promised?" Jay apologizes to Han and tells him she's on a mission, then hangs up. We discover she is a professional assassin, just like him. She confidently infiltrates her target's location and completes her mission with the ease befitting her skills. As for Han, the moment he steps out of the airport, he finds himself surrounded by different gangs wanting to recruit him. They pursue him, try to trick him, even go so far as to tear his shirt. He loses his temper, refuses them all, and runs straight to Jay. She greets him laughing at his appearance, and he feels embarrassed, telling her dryly, "And what do you know about fashion anyway?" He takes her to a secret spot, a meeting place for professional hitmen, where he gathers with his friends, all while he can't take his eyes off Jay. Her laugh, her presence, everything reminds him he's had a crush on her for the longest time. Han announces to everyone that he's decided to start his own crew after the organization's collapse, and he wants them with him. Everyone is shocked and hesitant. They know his strength, but they also know he's hot-headed. They agree to join, but on one condition: Jay is the leader, because she's smarter than him. Han sees this condition as an insult and strongly refuses. "I'm stronger than her." Jay flares up in anger and retorts, "Did you forget? I've beaten you more than once before." A flashback appears. They are young, fighting to see who is stronger, matching skills, swift movements, but Jay wins in the end, then helps him up with a kind smile. That moment was the beginning of his crush on her. But the boss back then recruited Han into the organization and refused to take her, so Jay held a grudge against him that never faded. Back to the present. They sit together. Han learns from his friends that Jay is seeing someone. He burns inside, but hides the pain and asks her coolly, "And this boyfriend of yours, is he a professional like us?" Jay tenses up and avoids answering Han's question about her boyfriend, then changes the subject and asks if he's really serious about starting his own crew. She warns him it won't be easy. He's still young and inexperienced compared to the big leagues. Han is at a loss, but then he remembers his old mentor and decides to ask for his help. The next day, he goes to his house, only to find him throwing a huge party attended by major crime lords. As he approaches him, a wealthy young man named Young stops him, introduces himself, hands him a business card, and tells him he's an admirer of his skills and wants him in his crew. Han replies curtly, "I'll think about it and get back to you." Then he leaves him and heads to his mentor. He calls out to his mentor and apologizes for his long absence, but the mentor hugs him warmly as if he'd never left. He takes him inside, and there Han notices a collection of valuable antiques. Realizing the mentor is obsessed with all things rare, when Han tells him about his desire to start his own crew, the atmosphere suddenly shifts. The mentor attacks him to test his strength, proving that despite his age, he's still a dangerous fighter. Han holds his own as best he can, using his skills intelligently, even grabbing two small statues and fighting with them instead of his daggers, which impresses the mentor. But the mentor doesn't stop and attacks Han again. Realizing the confrontation won't end, Han grabs a rare antique and threatens to break it. Only then does the mentor stop. This piece is more important to him than the fight. They finally sit down to eat, the mentor serving him his favorite potatoes and scolding him for not visiting. Han apologizes, then tells him his plan. He wants to create a new crew, and he wants the mentor to be its leader. The mentor is surprised and immediately refuses, having retired years ago. But Han insists. He tells him he needs a professional like him, and that he'll bring Jay along because she was wronged in the past. She defeated him in combat, yet the former boss chose him over her. And here, a flashback appears in the mentor's mind. He remembers the moment of competition between Han and Jay. The winner was supposed to join the organization. Everyone noticed Han was holding back part of his strength because he loved Jay and didn't want to hurt her, which made them understand the truth. Han is stronger than her, and they chose him and cast her out so she wouldn't be a burden to him in the future. The mentor snaps out of the memory, decides not to tell Han to avoid hurting his feelings, and simply says to him, "I'll think about it." Han then goes to visit Jay at the training warehouse. He finds her angry and tries to make her laugh, mocking the training dummy she's hitting, saying, "If he's bothering you, I'll finish him off for you right now." He starts stabbing the dummy with his daggers, making Jay laugh despite herself, her features softening. She looks at him with a silent gaze, filled with a well-hidden admiration. But the effects of the fight with the mentor show on Han, so Jay takes him and treats his wounds. She puts ice on his hands and teases him. "Is it possible you lost to an old man?" Han, embarrassed and a little angry, asks her to join his crew. He shows her Young's card and tells her he's a wealthy man who could finance them. Jay hesitates, but finally agrees, despite having a boyfriend, whom we haven't seen yet. Jay goes to resign from the gang leader she works for. He's sad to see her go as she's his right hand, but he respects her decision and wishes her well. She says goodbye and leaves. Han waits for her outside with their mutual friend. He starts venting to her. "A girl told me she was taken, and it turned out she was lying. Get it? What does that mean? Does she like me or what?" His friend mock him. "It means she's trying to get away from you, genius." Han gets angry and leaves her. He gathers his team and they go to Young's company, only to discover it's a combat gaming company, and he wants to use their skills to develop his game. Young is surprised when he sees Jay. He's mesmerized by her beauty and decides to create a character in the game that looks just like her. Han boils with jealousy, but stays silent because the funding is more important. They meet with him, and he promises them huge sums of money if they work for him as professionals. But Young admits he comes from a wealthy family anyway, and money means nothing to him. All he wants is to exploit their skills. He starts browsing through Jay's pictures and reading about her, discovering she's a professional, but is shunned by the major syndicates, and no one would hire her. Han defends her fiercely, insisting she's talented and can execute any mission. Young gets excited and makes a crazy request. "I want to know who's the strongest. Fight to the death." Han explodes in anger. "We're not characters in your game. If you say that again, you won't be leaving here alive." He gathers his team and storms out, but Young calls Jay aside and offers her a huge amount of money. Despite that, she refuses him, leaves, and catches up with Han, trying to convince him in a calm voice. "This is a great opportunity, and we have to take it." Han refuses Young's offer out of sheer pride, simply because his self-respect is more important than any amount of money. But his words don't sit well with one of his crew members who feels like nothing compared to Han's fame. In a moment of anger and confusion, he apologizes and leaves, heading into Young's world, which he sees as a golden opportunity not to be missed. Jay tries to stop him, but the decision is made, and she feels a deep disappointment. She sits back down next to Han, confused and broken, not knowing what to do. But Han calms her down and reveals a secret he's never told anyone. He has saved a large amount of money for a long time, all to establish his own crew. And the reason? So she could work with him, because he sees her as worthy of being number one, not just a sidekick. The words hit her like a shock, and for the first time, she feels how much he believes in her. She thanks him and decides to see this path through with him to the end. And indeed, the new crew is born. Han becomes the leader, recruits 2 of their friends, and assigns tasks based on each person's strength. And his weaker friend? He gets a mission, reserving a dinner table at the restaurant. And the first series of missions begins. Han succeeds easily. Jay dominates because she's been a pro from day one, and the group advances step by step until they complete all their missions. But the money still isn't enough. Han decides to go to his old mentor and ask for harder missions. The mentor agrees, and Han returns loaded with a new mission and hands it to Jay. But Jay refuses, not because she isn't capable, but because she's afraid the others will get upset, especially since she feels Han is spoiling her too much. She takes him aside and explodes on him. "Stop giving me special treatment. The team is going to change, and they're going to leave the gang." But Han, very simply, sums everything up in one sentence. "I don't care about anyone but you." Those words were like knives. Jay understood that Han saw her as a burden, and his protectiveness meant he didn't trust her strength. Her blood boiled, and she decided to prove him wrong. She lifted her head and said in a steady voice, "I'm not weak, and you'll see who's stronger." And she left him and walked away. Han, heartbroken by Jay's words, goes to his mentor at night to vent. But the mentor shocks him with a truth he didn't know. The mentor opens the door to the past. A blazing flashback. The day Jay challenged Han and told the mentor she had to join the gang because she defeated him. But the mentor laughed and told her the bitter truth. Han wasn't fighting seriously. Han was letting her win, and that if he fought her for real, he would finish her off in seconds. Jay, consumed by jealousy, challenges the mentor to a fight to the death. The mentor refuses, but she loses her temper and attacks him from behind. But he evades her and she falls to the ground in front of him. At that moment, the mentor permanently expelled her from the gang, returning to the present. He warns Han, "Stay away from her. This jealousy of yours could destroy you." And Han stands there shocked, unable to believe that Jay could think about killing him. But on the other side, Jay is in the warehouse training, anger eating her up from inside. She suddenly feels like someone is watching her and finds a whole team of ninjas have entered. Instead of being afraid, she smiles and says, "You came at the right time. No one is leaving here." Jay started hitting them hard, and despite her gentle features, she is a beast in combat. She takes down a whole group as if it were a game, and the more she's surrounded by greater numbers, the more her ferocity increases, until everyone falls, and only one remains. The last fighter grabs her from behind and flies out the window with her. He tries to stab her with a knife, but she skillfully breaks free, snatches his mask, and is surprised. It's their old comrade, the one who left the gang and went to Young. He apologizes, begs her to forgive him, but Jay looks at him coldly. "You tried to kill me? Then I must kill you." And she actually kills him. Suddenly, a luxurious car appears and Young gets out with a cold smile, revealing that he was the one who sent the ninjas to test her strength. After seeing her standing on a pile of corpses, he is amazed by her and approaches to say, "You're talented. Leave Han. Work with me." Jay is left shocked and confused by his sudden offer. And the next day, Jay completely distances herself from the team. Han tries to get close, asks her about the wounds on her face, but she refuses to talk. His voice rises. He tells her that the leader needs to know everything. But Jay tells him, "I'm stronger than you," and asks him to go to the roof. A fight to determine who is stronger. The team is shocked, but Han follows her, bringing his daggers. The battle begins. The blows are fast. Each one knows the other's style. Their strength is equal. And suddenly, Han pretends to be defeated, extends his hand. "You've become the strongest, and you deserve the leadership." But Jay sees through his game. She throws her weapon and walks away. And the day after, she goes to Young and agrees to work with him. He puts her in a simulator, copies her movements to insert them into his game. The video of the fight between Han and Jay that was leaked goes viral. Everyone thinks Jay really defeated him. His reputation collapses and missions decrease. The traitor who filmed the video returns and offers Han's friend to join his gang, but she firmly refuses. At that time, Young gives Jay the title The Lizard because she is the only one who defeated Han, and he confesses his real goal is to defeat the mentor and take over all the gangs in the city. At that time, the mentor sees the video. He goes to Han, confronts him with the truth. "You were pretending to be defeated," and offers him to rejoin the old crime organization. But Han refuses. He won't leave his team. The mentor punishes him. "No more missions for you." After that, Han assigns a member of his team her first mission to boost her confidence. She faces a huge wrestler who crushes her at first. Han encourages her from afar. Her determination ignites. She flies through the air, grabs him by the neck, and takes him down at the last second. Han applauds her and rewards her. The next day, Han and his girlfriend go to a gang meeting. People mock him, but before his girlfriend can hit them, he calms her down. And suddenly, Jay enters. She ignores him as if he doesn't exist, and his heart breaks. The mentor announces the return of the organization. Jay objects. She attacks him directly. Han is amazed by her courage, but the mentor mocks her and challenges her to a fight. Jay agrees. A fight between teacher and student, Jay attacks with all her strength, but he easily blocks every blow. Before he can finish her, Han throws himself in front of her and takes the blow for her. Everyone is shocked. Han gets up, but he was pretending to faint just to save Jay, and he blames the mentor for his cruelty. But the mentor reveals that Young was the one who pushed her to challenge him, not her. The mentor gives Han a mission, and if he succeeds, he will forgive Jay. But he discovers the target, Jay's old boss, who considers her like a daughter, and the man is weak and old. Han refuses to kill him and pretends he completed the mission. But Han advises the boss to escape and start a new life. The boss escapes, and Han returns home. The mentor calls him angrily. Jay sent him a knife with blood on it, and she is challenging them. Han understands immediately. This is all planned by Young. He tries to ask for a chance to talk to her, but the mentor refuses. I have to accept the challenge, so I don't appear weak among the gangs. And in a moment of pressure, Han breaks down and says, okay, I'll come back to work with you, but leave her alone. The mentor is happy that Han agreed to return, and plans with him to convince Jay to withdraw the challenge. But Jay discovers that Young was deceiving her to separate her from Han. Fear grips her heart and she cries because she knows her life is now in danger. Han tries to call her, but she refuses to answer. He is confused, gets angry, not knowing what to do. And suddenly, he gets an idea. He announces the news of her old boss's death, knowing she will attend the funeral no matter what. And indeed, Jay appears. Han sits next to her, tries to convince her to withdraw. The mentor is like a monster. If you fight him, you'll die. But Jay is stubborn. She tells him she is stronger than him since she defeated him before, and she won't listen to him. Han boils inside. He understands she won't back down with words. He decides to stop her by force. He proposes a final fight between them. Jay agrees. But before they start, the old boss walks in on them. He laughs, thanks them for attending his funeral, which was supposed to be mine. Everyone is shocked that he is still alive, and he thanks Han for saving him, but he admits he won't live like a coward in hiding. Han is shocked. Now everyone will know he disobeyed the mentor's orders, and punishment is inevitable. And as soon as he returns home, he finds the mentor waiting for him, and he tells him, you disappointed me, Han, and you must be punished. And I've decided to wipe your beloved Jay from existence, and after that, it will be your turn. He hugs him as if bidding him farewell, and the mentor leaves. Han spends the night alone, thinking. Later, he meets the mentor's secretary and asks her what to do. She replies with a crushing blow. You can't save everyone you love. Choose Jay or the mentor. Han is afraid, but he remembers every moment he lived with Jay and understands he still loves her. He decides to sacrifice his life for her. He calls the mentor, sets a time for a death match before he touches Jay. On the day of the confrontation, Han prepares himself, bids farewell to his female friend, and gives her the keys to his car. She confesses that she has loved him for a long time, asks him to return safely, and he promises her that he will return if he survives. On his way, he calls Jay to say goodbye, but Jay understands he is going to fight the mentor and decides to get there before him. Han suggests they team up, but she refuses and hangs up. He runs at full speed, arrives at the place. The guards lie to him and say she got there before him. He runs to save her, but discovers she isn't there. The mentor was luring him. The mentor appears, laughing. Did you think if you came together you could defeat me? Han grabs his daggers. The fight ignites. He hits him precisely. They exchange violent blows, and suddenly, Jay arrives. Han is distracted for a moment, and the mentor takes advantage. He hits him in the leg, disabling Han. The mentor runs towards the elevator to kill Jay as soon as she gets out, but Han resists the pain and throws his body in front of it, saving her at the last moment. Jay freezes from all that happened. She stands by Han and decides to fight with him, but the mentor presses on her psychological wounds. You'll always be a burden. You can never reach my level. His words pierce her heart like an arrow. She sees Han injured because of her. She boils. She pushes him away, attacks him, and screams, "Don't interfere!" The battle turns into a three-way hell. Each one fights the other, and they all fight the mentor. The mentor is happy he succeeded in turning them against each other. He hits them one by one, and despite his old age, no one can stop him. The battle has reached a point. Only one will remain alive in the end. The battle reaches its climax. The mentor looks at them with contempt, as if they are nothing. Jay gets up, grabs her sword, and strikes the mentor directly in the stomach. Han is shocked because she could have finished them both off, but she laughs and says, "Now we're even. Come on, fight with me for real." Han regains his confidence. He grabs his daggers and launches with supernatural strength. His speed doubles. His blows rain down on the mentor like a storm. The mentor loses his balance, fails to even touch him. Han turns him into a human shish kebab. The mentor falls to the ground, collapses, and begs Han to kill him, but Han's kind heart refuses to finish him. Jay steps forward. She makes the decision Han is incapable of, and finishes off the mentor herself. Before he dies, he thanks her, says he is proud of her, and then he dies. Han collapses, asks her why. She tells him she had to, and that his kindness sometimes humiliates people, like she felt in the past. And Han admits she is strong, even stronger than him, and he suggests she come back to work with him. He kisses her, and they walk away. A week later, a big meeting to determine the new leader. Young appears, convinces everyone that Jay is the strongest fighter and the most suitable for leadership. Everyone agrees, out of fear of her. After the meeting, Jay thanks Young, gives him a rose, and wishes him a good night. She walks away laughing. Young gets in the car, turns to the driver, finds Han smiling. "Welcome to the lion's Young's den, and that was the last day of Young's life, and the last face he saw was Han's face. And here we are. We've reached the end. Wait for us with new summaries, and don't forget to hit like and help us get this episode to 5,000 likes. And for those who reached the end of the episode, I want you to put a heart emoji in the comments so I know who liked the video.